see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday. And I think it's going to be before Wednesday, believe it or not. I just got back from the most magical place on earth. No, not Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Bragg. I'm talking about Walt Disney World. And lo and behold, and more to follow on that, lo and behold, there were two, count them, not one, but two packages on my porch. One from Gary for the yeast experiment coming up. So cool, thank you, Gary. He sent me some hops and some imperial yeast, so it arrived. Thank you very much for the upcoming hop experiment, or the yeast experiment. Then the other one was a package from none other than my buddy Stein, who just got into home brewing late last year. I guess the last couple of months, I think. And he's been brewing up a storm. He's already brewed an amber, he's brewed an IPA, he's brewed a Kolsch, he's brewed a blonde ale. I think he's brewed some other ones, but he sent me those 4 home brews and then a whole bunch of commercial beers. So thank you so much, Stein. The one that I'm going to review to kick off this homebrew, this special edition Homebrew Wednesday, is called Dean Perry Centennial IPA. It looks like it's 6.8%, and the Dean Perry Centennial is kind of a special name because we had this mutual friend named Tim who unfortunately left us way too soon. But he was kind of a character, and every time he saw me, he would always call me Michael Dean Perry, one of his favorite players from the Denver Broncos. He was a big Broncos fan. So I'm assuming this is an allude back to those Dean Perry days. But I'm assuming also that this thing has Centennial hops in it, since it was Dean Perry Centennial. An IPA, 6.8%, sounds like a perfect ABV. And, you know, I know how Stein is. He's very much like me, and I just know this is going to be a kick-ass beer. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's been sitting out on the front porch, so it's nice and cold. And I think it was delivered today. Yeah, I think it was delivered today. It's very lively. I've got the proper, I can already smell it. I can already smell it. Now, I think this is a brew in the bag. I don't know. I don't have any other details from it. I have to check my messages. Maybe he sent me something on it. But I think this is and I don't want to pour any stuff in from the bottom, so I'll stop there. But I think this was a brew in the bag. And man, it's already, oh yeah, I can already smell the hops in it. This is going to be a good one. I've just taken a quick, sniff of it, and I don't smell any off flavors, and I smell a lot of hops, so that's always a good sign. The head is ridiculous. I think Stein bottle conditions. I'm almost positive he does, and I might have gotten a little. No, I don't think I got too much in it at all. So let's go ahead and talk about the appearance. First of all, it has a nice 2.5 finger head that is very persistent. It's not going anywhere. It has a head that I can't get on my homebrews. Maybe that's because it's bottle conditioned, I don't know, but it's got very small creamy bubbles, it's got medium-sized bubbles, it's got some of the larger bubbles, and it has that awesome pillowy, you can see it there, appearance that I really love in a beer. I love heads that look like that. It's a perfect gold, straw gold, kind of a deep gold IPA, perfect color for an IPA. It's got some haze to it, but I think it's bottle conditioned, and I might have got some of the stuff in it. But it's got even with the nucleation in this glass, it's got some really good carbonation bubbles streaming up from the top. So terrific looking beer, Stein. This is, from your first batch of homebrews, this is like a really beautiful looking beer. The only thing I would say is, and I know you bottle condition, so I've never done this with bottle conditioning, so you can't do the gelatin trick, I don't think. I guess you can, yeah, but I'm not really sure how that works. You'd have to research that if you wanted to try to clear this thing up, but I don't think you need to. I think it's a nice looking beer. So let's go ahead and get a nose. Yeah, I'm gonna think that this is Centennial hops on here. It reminds me of Two Hearted Ale, that same, because I think Two Hearted Ale is all Centennial, and this smells a lot like Two Hearted Ale. Oh, it smells really good. It smells that nice, juicy citrus kind of quality you get from Centennial or Cascade, but it also has a nice kind of sweetness to the nose. Yeah, I think this is going to be, I don't think it's going to be, I mean, just smelling it doesn't smell like it's going to be a dry beer, which I dig. I like a little bit of a juicy in my IPA. But yeah, it's very clean smelling. Very clean smelling indeed. Very nice. I mean, normally I would expect with a new homebrewer, you get that kind of slight plastic kind of smell, usually from like too hot of a fermentation, but no. This smells like, man, I'm getting even more of the citrus now. It smells like it was a very clean fermentation. So awesome. Dude, you're like firing on all cylinders so far. I haven't tasted it yet. So here's a moment of truth. Hey, cheers, Stein. Thank you so much for the delivery. Man, you sent me a lot of good stuff. I really appreciate it. Dude, you have got to be happy with this beer. Man, when I first started brewing, I brewed a couple of, I think I brewed like a golden ale named after our buddy Dan's daughter, Hannah. It's called Hannah's Quest, I think, a golden ale. But I would always misjudge on the hops and go, either with too much bittering hops up front, and I would get this kind of harshness on the bittering. You got this like spot on, dude. So first of all, it's got a light to medium mouthfeel on it. The carbonation is like perfect. And I think it's a little bit low, but I know that I kind of poured a little crazy, so you lost a lot of the carb on the head, but it's not missing any carb at all. Trust me, it's perfect. It explodes on the tongue because it's nicely carbonated, and that's kind of what you want in an IPA. Wow. Yeah, I think this is bottle conditioning, and I have never bottle conditioned, so this is perfect. I mean, it's not yeasty, it's just very clean. I mean, I don't know if I've had a bottle conditioned beer this clean before from a homebrew. This is awesome. So, yeah, really good hop flavor throughout the experience. It's a little bit of bitterness up front, but it doesn't linger on the back end, which is really, really nice, because normally when you're kind of just starting out, you don't understand the alphas, and you kind of get that tongue scraping effect, and this does not do that at all. This is a beautiful homebrew, dude. You have got to be, I know you just started with beers like this should keep you coming back, and probably even upgrading the system some too down the road. Don't tell Natasha I said that. Dude, okay. All right, I have gushed enough about this beer. This is a freaking awesome beer. I'm hoping that Stein joins us on the BrewTube community. That would be cool. And if he does, and he decides he wants to start trading beer meals with folks, you need to hook him up and get hooked up, because this dude knows what he's doing. And he's, like I said, he's a very intense kind of guy. He's went to a very good engineering school on the Hudson. Very smart guy. Very attention to detail. So I'm not surprised that he put out a beer like this. It is really, really good. Thank you, Stein. Okay, let's talk about. Damn, that's a good beer. Oh, what a good IPA. It definitely lives up to the name. Okay, so went to Disney this week. And, we didn't want our kids to just be hanging out with us, so we said, hey, it'd be cool if they could each get a friend to come. And, what we didn't want was like one of the kids got a friend to come and one didn't, and then it was kind of awkward. But luckily, they both brought a friend. My daughter brought one of her girlfriends, and my son brought one of his male friends. And we had our timeshare, so we had it was weird. They gave us like 3 full suites, so we made sure we opened the doors so they were all interlocking. But we started out, we got there on Friday, had a dinner, and then got up the next morning, went to Animal Kingdom, I think. Rode all the rides, did the Yeti, which was a ride that my son did when he was really, really young. And he was taking some medicine at the time that made him uber focused. And we heard about that Yeti. Actually, it's called Expedition Everest, but we heard about that Yeti all freaking day. Like before the Yeti ride, after the Yeti ride, that night when we're trying to get him to get a bath. I mean, it was just Yeti, Yeti, Yeti. So we did that, and it was like, that was the hit of the day. I think there was another ride, Pandora, that we didn't get to, well, the guys got to ride, my son and his friend got to ride it. We didn't, just because the line was so long. We thought going in January, it would be like off season, and the weather would be nice, and there wouldn't be as many folks. Oh no. So that was the first day. Then the second day we went to, we did two parks. I want to say we did Epcot in the morning, which is always fun. We got there this time at like 7 o'clock in the morning. We were there when the park opened, or at 7:30. We tried to be there at 7, getting everybody up and showered so we got there at like 7:30. Hit Epcot, did Mission Space, which is a fun ride. It hits G-forces. My wife was a little nervous, but we all did it and had a great time. And then my wife and I, we all split up, and it's really cool when you have kids that are this age. Like they're in their anywhere from 14 to 17 is the span of these four. And we just kept contact on cell phones, and my wife and I got to putz around the park, just she and I, and man, my freaking legs were killing me from my knees all the way down to my feet when my dogs were barking. I'm not the young man I'm not the young spry guy I once was, where I go out and do foot marches and all that. I cannot do that anymore. On the first day, I forgot to mention, with Animal Kingdom, my sister, Jen, got to come out and hang with us, and her son, Derek, and that was a blast. Had a good time with them. It was awesome seeing my sister. I don't get to see my family enough, and so that was a lot of fun. So then after day 2, in Epcot, we went around to all the different, maybe I'll show you a picture here. I got a beer and a pretzel. It was just really, really fun. It was my wife and I kind of at our own pace, doing our own thing. And then we met up at early afternoon, and we cut over to Magic Kingdom, and then we did all the stuff there. And then the third day was Hollywood Studios, and that was the Star Wars experience. What I didn't know, they got this new ride, Rise of the Resistance. That thing, we did veteran discounted tickets, so we got vouchers that you would have to exchange when you get to the box office for the regular tickets. Well, because they were vouchers, we weren't able to go in, link them to one of those Disney accounts, and get the boarding passes. I guess for this Rise of the Resistance, you have to get, and for the fast passes and then the boarding, the fast pass doesn't work for Rise of the Resistance. You have to get like boarding passes because it's a brand new ride, and those things sell out like days in advance. So we had no chance. The only chance we had of getting on the Rise of the Resistance was if we showed up to the park at like 6 o'clock or something crazy, and we weren't going to do that. So we showed up at 7. All the boarding passes were gone for the day, so didn't get to do that one. But we did the Smuggler's Run on the Millennium Falcon. That was freaking cool. That was so much fun. If I would have had something like that back when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, when I was really like experiencing Star Wars for the first time, like back in 1977, when I was 7, that would have blown.
Check out Canto Bite. Maybe win myself a few.
Talk later. I have to do everything around him. This is hello, my friends. I am Hondo Onaka, and this is Onaka Transport Solution. Today.
Part of the Millennium Falcon, Stuart. Look how close I am. I felt like I was jumping into light speed and then coming out of light speed and shooting into a planet's. I mean, it was really well done. One of the coolest rides I've ever been on. And then just the village of Star Wars itself. I mean, there's like stormtroopers walking around. I don't know how those dudes talk. I think there's some kind of motion thing with their hands, but it's very specific. I'm sitting there, you know, our kids went and built droids. They had this little droid depot, and all the droid parts are, Logan built a R unit, and Lorelei built a BB unit, one of the little round ones that works, and it moves around, the little head floats. I mean, it is awesome. I mean, the people that put this together are brilliant. If you haven't been, you're debating going, get tickets and like make sure you get your passes in advance and all that. We did vouchers, so we couldn't do it, but if you buy your tickets online, I really thought I had stepped into Star Wars. I mean, the whole city is just amazing. You feel like Boba Fett walking around through I mean, it's just really cool. I'm gonna have to go back there at some point, have dinner in the cantina and go into Rise of the Resistance. So anyway, after that, we were talking about going back to a park this morning because we had like a 4 or 5 day park hopper. No one was up for that. So we were all freaking beat down. So we kind of lounged around, got up, did some video games, finally made our way to the airport, and we just got back today. So our dog's all happy to see us. We had someone house sitting, watching our dog while we were gone, so. Ah, damn, Stein, this is so good. Wow, this is good. This is like commercial quality, man. Dude needs to get into the SJ Pour Challenge. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. So anyway, so that's it. I mean, man, I've already hit 15 minutes. I'll probably kill you with some videos and some pictures, and trying to think of anything funny that happened. My son lost his wallet on a ride, and we had to do a forced march through the park at Hollywood Studios to go get it back, and we got it back. But other than that, we got everybody back safe. The weather down there was awesome. It was like 67, 68 degrees every day, with almost no clouds, just brilliant. What a good time. Anyway, hey, have your, brewing wise, so I got back my, the beer that I did for the Super Bowl party is ready. It's been cold crashing now for the last 4 or 5 days. So I've got a keg sanitizing right now. I may keg it tonight. I may not. Depends on what I feel like. My legs are killing me, so I might not. I might do it like first thing in the morning, maybe. I don't know. But I gotta let it, sit. I might do it. I might keg it tomorrow. Probably keg it tomorrow, and that'll give it 2 days to sit and be ready to go. I just gotta give my wife some growlers. I'm not gonna go in person and serve it. I'm just after this weekend, I'm no mas. So anyway, have yourself a happy homebrew and have a very, very, very happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.